I've watched a lot of videos trying to explain how to build cool 3D animated widgets like this. And most of them either go way too fast or make it sound way more complicated than it actually is. Here's the truth. This whole thing, the exploding animation, the labels, the smooth scroll, took me about 10 minutes to build. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to build your very own. The process is 4 steps and I'll show you each one. You don't need to know React, you don't need a complicated stack, you don't even need to write any code yourself. Your AI tools handle all of that. I've been building software for 30 years. This is the same kind of technique I use on real client sites, and I've never seen the gap between an idea and a shipped thing this small. Today I'm building one from scratch, live, an exploding cheeseburger. You'll see every single step. Let's go. Before we dive in, here's the whole process at a glance. It's 4 steps and I'll show you each one. First, we make 2 images, the object assembled and the object exploded, both from a simple text prompt. Second, we animate them. An AI video tool fills in every frame between those 2 images. Third, we build it. Claude Code turns that video into a scroll-driven widget. No animation library, no handwritten code. And fourth, we add the labels, the callouts that turn a cool effect into something that actually sells. That's it. 2 images, a video, the build, and the labels. Let me show you one I already built, and then we'll make a brand new one from scratch. I built this for a roofing demo. As I'm scrolling, the roof is exploding. It animates labels. If I scroll in the other direction, it closes. It's pretty cool, and you can embed this in any website. There's lots of things that you can build this for. So anything with layers that you could explode and then recompress again. So think of a car engine or sneakers or a gift box. All the things in a gift box, like explodes, you see everything inside, and then it kind of scrolls back. If you go onto GSAP's website, they showcase lots of different examples. This company is showing you how each of the different layers of this hairbrush are built. So same thing, right? There's different layers there, and as you scroll, they kind of fly apart so you can see them and then scroll back. You really don't need to build this with GSAP animation library, their scroll trigger, and all the code. That makes this way more complicated than it needs to be. I'm going to show you in this video how you can build the exact same idea right here, like I did with this exploding roof, in about 10 minutes with AI. For today's example, I'm going to build a cheeseburger. So we have the top bun, we have lettuce, tomato, we have cheese, we have the patty, and we have the bottom bun. So all these layers are going to explode into their parts, and then we can recompress them. We need 2 images, the burger fully assembled and the burger exploded. The AI video tool that we're going to use will imagine all of the different layers in between, from a fully assembled to a fully exploded burger. So let's work on those 2 images next. Whatever you like best for your image generating software, AI platform, use that. I'm using Nano Banana 2 or Nano Banana Pro. So I need that prompt. How am I going to create the initial completely compressed, fully together cheeseburger? What I did is I created a prompt to create the prompt for you, because the spec has to be right. It has to have enough white space on the sides and on the top so that it has room to scroll, room for labels if you want it for it to grow and expand, and it needs to be 16 by 9 so it's the right aspect ratio. I created this prompt that you can just literally just copy and paste and change the thing that you're exploding and what the parts are in that exploded view. So you would essentially just take this entire prompt. I'm going to copy that. You would go over to your image generator software, and I'm using Gemini, so if I click over here, I want to create an image, right? So I'm creating an image, and I'm going to paste my prompt. I'm just going to change the 2 things, right? What am I exploding? My object. I'm exploding a classic cheeseburger. And then I'm going to remove the extra stuff. It's layers, parts, top to bottom. So I need to list those parts, top to bottom. So the first one is the top bun, the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the patty, and the bottom bun. So for me, my compressed object is the classic cheeseburger, and all of its layers are the top bun, lettuce, tomato, cheese, patty, bottom bun. Perfect. So now I have my prompt. I can just hit go and let's see what it creates. The goal here is to create this image. Now you may not get it exactly the way you want it on the first try. We'll keep at it until we get that first compressed burger just the way we want it. Okay, created a prompt. So let's do the first one. Okay, quick heads up before we run these, because this part trips people up. We've got a few prompts flying around now, so let's make it clear what just happened. You're not writing prompts yourself. That thing I just filled in, that's a prompt builder. Think of it as a little machine. You give it two things, what you're exploding and its layers. And it hands you back the actual prompts to paste into your image tool, perfectly spec'd every time. So that's all that just happened. I filled in the builder and it wrote prompt 1 and prompt 2 for me. Now I just paste those into my tool, Nano Banana. And you don't even need to build this builder yourself. I've already got it on my companion page, link in the description. Just grab it and go. Okay, so let's go run this first one. I'm gonna grab this and I'm going to say generate. So now it's creating that. Let's see how that looks. I love it. Beautiful. So now I have image 1. So now what I need to do is I need to just save this on my computer somewhere so that I can put it into my project when I'm ready for it later. So let's save this to the right spot. So now I need to go to here and I need to generate my prompt number 2, right? So let's go grab that prompt number 2. And I'm going to go here. I'm reading this prompt and it says make it an exploded view of the exact classic cheeseburger from prompt number 1. I'm going to just be a little bit more explicit. I'm going to say, which is also attached. And then I'm going to attach it. Just going to drag it on there. Perfect. And let's see what it comes up with. In my experience, it takes a couple of times to run this prompt to get it looking exactly like the same burger within an exploded view. Sometimes it'll work perfectly the first time. Sometimes you might need to give it another try or two, tweaking that prompt. Let's see what we come up with here. I like it. We're going to go with it. If you want to be a perfectionist and you want to play with this a few times, by all means, go ahead. And I'm just curious. So we've got 2 tomatoes here. We've got 2 tomatoes here. We've got the cheese, we've got the bun, we've got everything just the way we want it. Okay, I like it. So now we have that. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to call that burger exploded. Save it for later. Okay, perfect, saved. Okay, we've got our 2 images. We have a fully compressed and we have a fully exploded version. Now I just need to feed them into an AI video generator that will take that starting image, that compressed image, and automatically animate it as part of a video into that fully exploded image. So let's go do that. I use Higgsfield AI because it does the start frame, end frame animation. Not all models do that. This one does, and I love it for that. And it does a lot of other cool things too. I actually have a starter subscription. If you look over here, it's only $19 a month. It's pretty inexpensive, and it does everything that I need for that. So go back, create video, and as you can see, I have the model Kling. There's lots of models built into this Higgsfield that you could pick. Kling is the one that allows me to do that start frame, end frame. That's why I have it selected. I'm going to set the aspect ratio to 16.9. I'm going to make it a 5-second video. That's all I need. And I'm not going to do 4K. I'm going to start out at 720. Let's make sure that we get the video we want. We can always regenerate that once we have the right video at a higher resolution. The only thing that I need is to put my start and my end frame, my fully compressed and my fully exploded images, and then I need to give it a prompt. So let's just go drag those images here. Okay, so there is my assembled, and here is my exploded version. So those are the ones that we just created. I have a start frame and an end frame. I've got these settings all good. I just need a prompt now for Kling. So getting the prompt right is kind of important here as well. So I have a prompt builder to help you with that process. So in the same file, also available in the description and on my website, is a prompt builder, right? So let's grab this. I'm going to go grab this prompt builder. Okay, and what we're going to do is you're going to fill in your object and its layers, the same way we did with the image, and then we're going to run that to get one prompt back, and that's what we're going to put into Kling. Okay, so let's go over here, and let's just we can get rid of images here. Let's just go like this. Okay, and what we need is, you are an expert at writing motion prompts for AI video interpolation. I have two images, my object assembled and my object exploded, blah, 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 blah. So here's my object and its layers. So we can just take what we did before, right? Here, I think it was here, right? My object and its layers, so we don't have to rewrite those. And then I can come down here, my object and its layers, and just paste that there. So my object is a cheeseburger and its layers are this. And then what it's going to do is it's going to, everything else is just going to give it all the right specs. All right, so I'm going to get a prompt for this. So let's go like this. This is the prompt builder, and the prompt that this spits out is what I'm going to put into Higgsfield, the Kling 3.0. All right, so static camera, locked position with no zoom. The assembled cheeseburger layers smoothly separate straight apart vertically, expanding into an evenly spaced exploded view against a static white background. The top bun, lettuce, tomato, cheese patty, and bottom bun rise and lower along a perfectly vertical axis. Every layer remains flat, intact, and fully in frame with zero rotation. Okay, so the whole idea is everything is here perfectly and built for your specific object. So let's grab that. Let's go back over to Higgsfield and put this in. Now I've got everything. I've got my starting frame, my ending frame. I've got the perfect prompt, and I've got the right settings here, the right model. All I need to do is hit generate. You're going to see once you pick all the right options in the model and the resolution, the number of tokens that are going to be charged to your account will be listed here. So if this is fewer, if I actually go to 4K, you're going to see this is 30 prompts. 1080K is 12 prompts. If you want to go right to 1080K so we don't have to regenerate that later and just wing it, hey, I'm going to do that right here. Then by all means, go ahead and do that. Worst case scenario, I have to regenerate that, then I have to regenerate it and I'm burning another 12.5 tokens. So I'm going to just do it. So let's see what happens. Click generate. And it's generating. You see, you're going to see all the history. I've got lots of different things I was playing around with. A pizza, and there's my roof is somewhere down there in my history. So this will come back in a second. Okay, so it's done. All right, let's play it and see how it worked. Hit play. I love it. Very cool. All right, so this is good. I mean, we could obviously regenerate this and play around with it and make as many iterations as we want, but I really like this. It's actually pretty good. But a video is not scroll animation. So the next step is to have Claude Code take the video that we create, break it up into individual frames, and then animate it as we scroll forward and backward. That's the next step. Let's do it. So before we jump in, let me explain what's actually about to happen, because this is the part that turns a video into a scroll animation, and it's simpler than you'd think. Remember flip books? Those little books where every page has a slightly different picture, and when you flip through them fast, it looks like it's moving? That's the whole trick here. Claude Code is going to take our 5-second video and chop it into individual frames, every still image that makes up the clip. Then it writes the code that ties those frames to your scroll bar. Scroll down, it flips to the next frame. Scroll up, it flips back. So you're flipping the pages just by scrolling. The burger explodes as you go down, reassembling as you come back up. And the part that surprises people, there's no fancy animation library doing this, no GSAP, no special tools, just the right frame showing up at the right scroll position. A flip book synced to your scroll bar. Okay, so let's have Claude Code go build it. So here's the part where 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, you would hire a front-end developer to build this for you. Today, you just type a paragraph. In fact, we don't even need to type the paragraph. I have a prompt builder for that too. So let's take a look at that. So if I go over here, let's just move over here, go into exploded view. So this is the prompt builder. So same file, again, in the description, you can grab all these prompts. We're building a prompt to give to Claude Code or Codex to go ahead and build this animation for us. So let's just grab this. let's go over to wherever you're going to use Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in the video file name, its folder, what it is, the frame rate, 30 is a good default, and then run it. Okay, so let's go over to here. All right, so let's take a look at the top here. You're writing a build prompt for Claude Code or whoever. You could change this to ChatGPT or whatever it is you're using, or Codex. You can read this. It's basically just giving it instructions. Hey, you're going to take these things and you're going to turn them into a smooth animation on scroll. What we really need to do here is we need to just give it some information. Okay, here's the name of my video file. Here's where it lives. What it is for context. This is a cheeseburger separating into its layers. The frame rate, we're going to go with 30. Okay, and I just need to put the files. So my files are called, make sure I got the right thing. So the first one is my video file, which is called burger. My video file is, yep, that's it, is burger explode mp4. It lives in the source folder. I think we're good, so let's make sure everything's good, right? So yeah, that's all we needed. Let's create that prompt. Excellent. All right, so this prompt looks great. So it tells Claude Code or Codex, whatever you're using, what to do, what to build, how to set up the project, and set up all the scrolling. And notice that there is nothing in here about GSAP or animation libraries or anything like that. So let's grab this prompt that was generated for us, and I'm going to head over to my VS Code environment. So if you're interested in how do you set this environment up, I've got several other videos on how to set up a GitHub, how to set up your VS Code environment, how to install Claude Code or Codex and all that stuff. So check those out. Those go into detail on how to get this environment set up. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in. I've got Claude Code here. It's connected inside of my VS Code. There's my project with all the source files right there. And really all I have at this point is nothing but the videos, the video that I created, the explosion video, and then the first and last images, and a README file. So after I put this prompt in here and hit go, and it's now working. So I'm going to let it work, and as it works, I'll sit here on standby and answer any questions that it needs. But until then, I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch. Let me see if anything interesting is happening that I can narrate for you. So if I go to public up here, okay, so you see under public, it created a frames directory. Look at what it did. It took that video at 30 frames per second, which is what we believe we asked it to do, and it pulled apart the video every second. There's 30 frames, and it created, for a 5-second video, we have 151 frames. So what's going to end up happening here is the code that it's writing, as you scroll, it's showing you the next frame in that video. If you scroll back and forth, it shows you, whatever frame for whatever direction you're going. So pretty cool, and let's just see how it all comes together here soon. Doing its thing, coding, building everything out. Okay, it came back. So what was built? So we've got the scaffold in, the frame extraction, the scroll component is all done, the page verification, and we're all ready to go. So all I need to do is run the server. I'm going to use this command right here, and I should be able to see what we have. So let's go take a look. So I'm at localhost 3137, so this is running on my local server, and it created a little page, the anatomy of a cheeseburger, scroll to pull apart layer by layer. So if I scroll down, there it is. If I scroll slowly, there it is. It's flying apart, and I just keep scrolling, and it's fully opened. If I scroll the other direction, it closes, right? Pretty cool. So the next step is I need to add, or I want to, it's not necessary. You can keep the scrolling burger the way it is. It's kind of cool. But if you wanted to make it really nice and make it a sales tool, or, add a little something extra, the labels do all of that. And I have already done this a couple of other times, and specifically in that roof exploding animation that I showed you earlier. So instead of building it from scratch, I'm going to do something pretty cool. I'm going to give a prompt to my other project where I built the exploding roof animation, and I'm going to say audit the code base, find out exactly how we did this so that we can duplicate this so we don't have to, tweak it and fix errors or whatever that might come up. I have the full audit here that was done by Claude Code for the roofing project. So I'm going to grab this entire prompt and I'm going to put it into the burger project with a little bit of a wrapper prompt, because I just want to make sure that everything that I have here will translate properly to my new projects. Are there the same number of labels? I don't have the actual labels on the descriptions. I'm going to have to fill those in. Those are going to have to be placeholders. I'm going to need to make sure that the sizing are the exact same in both of them. So Claude Code should be able to adapt nicely, but I just want to outline a few of those differences so that it can make sure that it cares for them properly. Okay, so I'm going to copy this first. Let me just grab this. Okay, so I copy that. I'm going to move over to my other project for the exploded view widget, and I'm going to paste it. But before I paste it, I'm going to add that little wrapper prompt to make sure that we can make any adjustments as needed. So I'm going to scroll up to the top of this, and before I hit send, I'm going to add this to the top. So here's a detailed spec of the label system, blah, 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 blah. Make sure you match the size, the width. You leave room for labels and placeholders. Let's see what it does. I'm going to click go. And when it comes back, we'll have a look and we'll adjust as needed. Okay, so it finished doing its work, and from looking at this, it did its job great. So it didn't just take a spec from a completely different program and just like slap it on here without any consideration of what we're doing with that might be different. It made the right adjustment. So if the size and shape and dimensions were different, it saw that and fixed it. Scroll timing was adjusted. Overlay on the canvas was done just right so that it matches this instead of the roof. And then it asked the question: do you want it to take it asked me, do you want me to go ahead and take a stab at this, to position things right, or you want to put them in there yourself? So I'm going to just have it go ahead and just do it. And I just had a conversation about this with my other Claude Code, and it gave me a little prompt. So really all I did is I took the feedback here, I copied this, I put it into Claude, I said, hey, what do you think about this? And I had a conversation and we agreed. Let it go ahead and take the first pass, do all those things. We can make adjustments later. So that's what I just told it to do. So I want to point out what I just did there. So I'm not just having a quick conversation and, giving it a prompt back on its questions. A lot of times, in fact, most of the time, I will take whatever feedback or analysis that it gives me after it does some work. I'll put that into ChatGPT or to Claude or whatever, and I'll have it do the analysis, because it may think of a question or an issue that I didn't see because maybe I didn't read it as closely as I should have, or whatever the case might be. And that's what I usually do. So I don't just interact directly with Claude Code. I'll take its response, I'll put it somewhere else in another chat window, which is my design partner, and it will help me figure out what the response is, and then that's what I'll put back. And that's exactly what you just saw me do here. So it's taking a stab at this, and we'll see what it comes back with. And when it's done, we'll hopefully have something to look at with labels, and we'll go from there. I'll come back as soon as it's done, and we'll look at it. Okay, so it finished working, and it basically said, hey, we went ahead and built it. We made our best guess. We actually went in and, created some labels for you based on what we think, you wanted to have there. All of those things are adjustable, right? So let's see what it looks like. So let's go over here real quick and grab this and bring it into view. So here's what it ended up building. So it's not perfect, but, it's okay. It's actually... so what happens is it's a burger, but as we scroll, and then once we get to the fully exploded view, then we see all the labels pointing to the bun. So it actually points to the bun good, The lettuce good. It points to all this. It points to everything perfect, actually. The only problem is these labels are too far out. They need to be pulled in a little bit closer to the bun. Now, I could go adjust those things manually, or I could just write a prompt and have AI fix them for me. And that's what I'm going to do in this case. So let me go back over here, and because I don't want to tell it exactly what to do, I explained the problem to Claude, and it gave me a prompt. So I'm just going to use its prompt, see what it comes up with. And I'm going to bring this up and see how it looks as it goes. So you'll see that it should change in real time here. See how it's starting to pull them in as it's making the change? Because I'm running local, and as it's changing the code, it's automatically updating here. So it's pulling these in a little bit at a time. There you go. Looking pretty good. So let's move this thing out of the way. So I've got my top bun, I've got my tomato, I've got my patty, I got lettuce, cheese, and bottom bun. Everything's pointing to the right place, and I didn't even have to do any nudging. I put one little prompt that said, hey, move those labels in so that they're not getting cut off. And now if I scroll, let's move me out of the way. If I scroll right back, they start to slowly disappear. And there's my bun. There's my burger. And when I scroll down, I got a bun, I got lettuce, I got tomato. There it all is, pointing to everything beautifully. Look at that. Nice. Okay, so we basically have our scrolling, exploding burger that is completely labeled when it's in the exploded view, and it looks great. So a couple things that we want to make sure that we do, and I can do these in another video if you think you might want it. So for example, we just built a completely AI coded widget that does this exploding burger. But what if I have a website for one of my restaurant customers, and they're built on WordPress, and they don't want to rebuild their entire website, take it off of WordPress and have it completely AI generated? What if I just want to take this widget that I built and install it on a WordPress website? Well, what you can do, and I did this with my roof project. So if I go here, see this roof project? This is my widget that I showed you, right? There it is, my exploding roof. But I turn this into a plugin that I can install on any WordPress site. So if I go, this is a local WordPress site on my computer. If I go into the dashboard, I just created a very basic site, and I created a plugin. So I took the code that I just built, and I created a plugin called a roof widget. And that plugin has a short code that I can install on any page. And that short code, if I go to this page that I created, a little roof test, if I click edit, this roof test right here just has a short code called roof system, attribute value, perfect. And if I view that, let's just view it on desktop. You know, this is a WordPress website, and there's my widget. Okay, so, and I also created my boardy widgets, I called them in this example, for a roof system. I allowed the user to adjust everything that they wanted. If they wanted to change the labels, they could, whatever labels they wanted, they could make them, you know, put them in any position, give whatever, any description they want. They could make the animation slower or faster or smooth or not smooth. They could put whatever colors they want for any widget. Anyway, I made every piece of this process completely customizable, right? So if you want to know how I turned this into a widget that can be installed as a plugin on any WordPress site, let me know. If that's something you're interested in, we'll do another video on that. Also, some things you need to make sure of the code. So if I take this and I look at mobile, I need to make sure that this looks great on mobile too, right? So the labels look a little different on mobile because there's less room than they do on a desktop, and it automatically figures out what size, you know, system it's on or device, and it adjusts the labels as needed. So a couple little things. Those are details. But once you've got this, those are just little add-ons that we adjust, and we can add cool little features to all of this. So if you like all of this and you want to see what that next video looks like, and you want me to show you how to set that up as a plugin, give me a comment and I'll create that one for you. Other than that, we have our exploding cheeseburger. Look at that, it's beautiful. And that's it. 2 images, an AI video, and a few prompts turned into a scroll animation that actually sells. No animation library, no front-end developer, about 10 minutes of real work. If you want to see how I turn this into a WordPress plugin you can actually drop onto any site and sell, that's the next video. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop a comment with what you'd build with this technique. I read every one, and if there's a popular request, I'll do a deep dive on it. All the prompt builders and tools from this video are linked below, along with the companion page. I'm Ed, the Solo Builder. See you in the next one.